Hi, Church O'Mill. Thanks for taking a moment to view another Jesus is Better video. This time of year especially, we love to try and think about or escape to where it's cooler. One of the most beautiful places that's cool, that's in Arizona, interestingly enough, is up in the Grand Canyon. Have you been on the north side? It is unbelievably beautiful. One of the things you just can't miss when you go to the north rim of the Grand Canyon is seeing all the deer. There are deer everywhere. I'm not sure if that's open right now, actually, but when it does open up, I would encourage you, if you can escape for a day or two, to make your way up there. You'll see so many deer. They're just majestic, incredibly beautiful creatures. And I always thought, when I read Psalm 42, verse 1, I had pictured in my mind a deer like you might see at the Grand Canyon. It says this, as the deer pants for flowing streams, so pants my soul for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. That's verse 1 and 2. I had in my mind a deer that's on a beautiful meadow with lots of trees, and they're living the easy, good life. But really, probably what's much more accurate is the panting talked about, the longing talked about in Psalm 42, verses 1 and 2, in terms of that deer, is actually a deer that's out in the desert. And if that deer doesn't make it to water soon, then that deer's going to die. Some of us right now feel like internally we are at a place of being near death. We're deeply, deeply saddened. Maybe we could even use the word depressed. What do you do when you reach that place? Psalm 42 is one of the wonderful spots to go to in your Bible. I want to encourage you to simply start with an acknowledgement of where you are and the difficulty that you might be feeling, and then begin to pray Psalm 42, verse 1 and 2. And don't picture the deer at the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Picture a deer that got lost, a deer that's out in the desert, a deer that if doesn't make it to a stream soon, then that deer is going to pant in such a way that deer may die. A lack of water eventually leads to physical death. What our souls need more than anything else is a longing for God. If you don't feel that longing for God, then pray that God would return to you the joy of your salvation and the desire for Him. And I don't know how long those prayers will need to go, but Christian, as you pray that prayer and long for God in that way, and ask Him to stir within you a longing for Him, He's going to be faithful to come. He's going to be faithful to bring streams of living water. We're praying for that for you, brothers and sisters, and that ultimately each of us would be drinking deep from Jesus Christ, for in all things, Jesus is better.